King Arthur explains the Battle of Manzikert, 1071. The Byzantine collapse begins. The year 1071. The sun was shining, the swords were polished, and the Byzantine Empire was still pretending it was invincible. I say pretending because what happened that year at a little place called Manzikert would prove to be one of the most beautifully disastrous military blunders in medieval history. And who better to guide you through it than me, King Arthur? Yes, I know. I'm supposed to be legendary, not historical, but let's not get picky with labels. I've got a crown, a sword, and an unhealthy obsession with battles I wasn't actually in. Now, before you wander off to watch a cat video or someone falling off a horse, let me ask you something. How does an empire that once ruled the Mediterranean get absolutely humiliated by an enemy they underestimated from the start? Stick around, noble viewer, because by the end of this tale, you'll understand how pride, paranoia, and a badly timed betrayal cracked open the mighty Byzantium like a walnut. And if this story grabs you, give it a like, subscribe to the Royal Chronicles, and leave a comment telling me which empire you'd have accidentally destroyed if you were in charge. So, let's begin. Our main character is Romanos Thor Diogenes, the Byzantine emperor. Imagine a man with a shiny helmet and a big ego to match. He was trying to defend the empire's eastern frontier against the Seljuk Turks, nomadic warriors from Central Asia, who had the annoying habit of being very good at riding horses and shooting arrows at the same time. Romanos, convinced that his big fancy army could scare the Turks into submission, decided to march east, without actually knowing where the Seljuks were. Bold move. His army? Oh, it was a mess. A collection of mercenaries, disgruntled nobles, and soldiers who'd rather be drinking wine than marching through Anatolia. Among these noble freeloaders was Andronikos Doukas, a man whose family had a beef with the emperor and the backstabbing skills of a soap opera villain. Yes, this will be important later. B. When Romanos finally found Sultan Alp Arslan, the Seljuk leader, they actually met for peace talks. And guess what? The Sultan offered terms that Romanos arrogantly rejected. Because of course he did. Why negotiate when you can charge headfirst into disaster? And so, on August 26, 1071, the two armies clashed near Manzikert. Romanos thought he had the upper hand. He didn't. Alp Arslan was a master of feigned retreat, and the Byzantines fell for it like it was the oldest trick in the book, which it was. The Seljuks pretended to flee, and the Byzantines chased after them, breaking formation. Then the Turks circled back and attacked the exposed flanks. Chaos erupted, and then betrayal. Remember Andronikos Doukas, the guy with a personal vendetta? He commanded the reserve troops, and when Romanos ordered them to support the front, Doukas said, "Nah," and left the battlefield. Just walked away, probably whistling. That sealed it. Romanos was captured, his army shattered, and the empire humiliated. Now here's where it gets even messier. Alp Arslan, being a surprisingly classy victor, treated Romanos well and eventually released him. But back in Constantinople, the Doukas family had already replaced him. Romanos returned home, was arrested, blinded, and died in exile. You know, as one does. The Battle of Manzikert didn't immediately destroy the Byzantine Empire, but it was the beginning of the end. Anatolia, the empire's heartland, was lost piece by piece to the Turks. It was like watching a grand palace crumble one brick at a time. By the time the Crusaders showed up decades later, Byzantium was a shadow of its former self. Now, dear viewer, take this tale as a lesson. Never underestimate your enemy. Never trust a guy named Andronikos, and if your empire is built on politics and pride, maybe don't go to war unprepared. If you enjoyed this royal rant, strike that like button like it's a treacherous noble. Subscribe for more tales of glorious missteps and legendary failures. And tell me in the comments, if you were Romanos, would you have taken the peace deal? Or would you have charged into history with your eyes closed like he did? This has been King Arthur, Ghost of Camelot and part-time war analyst. Until next time, may your armies obey orders and your enemies forget how to aim.